Welcome back, trainers, and in this video we're going to be going over some Ultra League battles, but first we're going to be discussing something really quick here as how PvP is going to become more dominant, I think, in Pokemon Go. More features, and it's just going to be more engaging, more rewarding. We have a lot of things coming down the road here, including Gen 5 Pokemon, which are going to be very exciting. And before we continue on, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, because a lot of these PvP videos that I do put out do not get too much traction, so that would help me out big time. Anyways, back onto the topic here. In the future, we have the Route Maker, we have the Verse Seeker, the new buddy system, all of which are going to kind of tie into PvP. I don't know so much about the Route Maker, but as far as the buddy system, and leveling it up, making it stronger, could help you out in PvP as far as return is concerned, giving the buddy system more depth, not just simply walking it for a candy. So a lot of things are coming down the road here, guys, including the PvP online ranks, and that is going to be officially inside of Pokemon Go. Now, I don't know 100% how this is going to work, but kind of gearing you guys up, getting you ready. Also, the Silph Arena is going to be doing Ultra League battles in Season 2 that are not going to be ranked, I do believe, but still are going to be able to have an option to do that. So it's going to be very exciting, very fun stuff here. This is why I want to go over Ultra League battles with you, because I know a lot of us have been stuck in the Great League, and Ultra League just seems like foreign to us. Like, well, what? We were doing it when it first came out, but now it's kind of like a lost language. So we're going to hop in some of those battles and take a look at that. So we have the competitive side here. As you can see, a lot of information within the data showing specific things, passes for seasons, ranks for seasons. So it's a good time now to kind of prepare yourself for the future, get ready for these. I know the investment in PvP Pokemon is very steep. I understand that, guys, and that kind of throws people off. They rather invest in things to go up against raids. Completely understandable. So that's all right, though. Let's go ahead and check out some battles. And that's why I want to go over these Ultra League battles that I did have with my friend Edgar Martinez here. So we did do a total of 6 battles. It's been a while since I did Ultra League battles. Doing a lot of Great League battles, Pokemon can take different amounts of hits, more damage for specific moves. So going into this was quite exciting here. Now, I do believe he had a little bit more practice than me in the Ultra League. No excuses. I'm just saying I need to get back on it. He really gave me a challenge here. So let's go. Starting it off with Blastoise, and we're going to be doing this in real time. I'm not going to speed this up whatsoever so we can discuss what we're seeing here. So that Hypno does have a legacy move, Psyshock, and I wasn't really sure as to how much damage it's going to do. So I did, in fact, shield the first one up. So this Blastoise does have the Community Day move, Hydro Cannon, and just to let you know right now, pretty much all the Community Day Pokemon, not all of them, but the Community Day moves in general are going to be what you want to be seeking. Now, don't go and do a battle every single time with Swampert and Venusaur, Charizard, and things like that, but they're definitely something you want to be thinking about because those charge moves just are extremely overpowered, and you need to have them on your side sometimes. So that Psyshock did do a decent amount of damage, but I was able to take it. So we're going to return with the Hydro Cannon. Blastoise is fairly tanky, as well as that Hydro Cannon doing a great amount of damage, so we do get him out of there. He has no more shields, and we're up a shield with the Blastoise, so we will be able to have that switch priority when he does bring this in. So he does fake down my Blastoise with counters on that Toxicroak. Toxicroak, another fantastic Pokemon. The Ultra League is going to be a whole lot different. Here, I'm making my decision as to what I should bring in. Bringing in the Alolan Muck is not going to be a good idea, so I do go with that Venusaur here. And a lot of level 40 Pokemon can make it in the Ultra League. Blossom, Toxicroak, my Skarmory, for instance, many others that we'll look at here. I don't think many others, but a few more. So I do make the immediate switch here because I realize, okay, he's switching. I need my Venusaur for that Toxicroak later, and I know my Alolan Muck is not going to be able to stand up to that Toxicroak later, so I do make that immediate switch to face off against whatever he was bringing in here, and this is a generally good matchup for me, to some degree. I do have Bite, as you can see here. I do like to run Bite on my Alolan Muck in case I run into Giratinas, which are going to be one of the most difficult Pokemon to go up against in the Ultra League, because of its tankiness. It's just absurd. So having those dark or fairy type Pokemon, even ghost type moves are going to be helping you for this specific league. So we're going to go ahead and get off this move here onto that Snorlax. And it does basically faint him out, and we take him out. So that Toxicroak won't be able to gain too much energy at this point, which is perfect. Faints me out before I can even see my own muck again. And then comes the Venusaur, ready and charged up for that Frenzy Plant. Now, this is not going to be very effective, but like we discussed, these Community Day moves are just so crazy strong, as you can see here. And Toxicroak is the tankiest thing around. So we are up a shield, so we are going to win this here. I mean, he could pull it through if he did have a bunch of energy and he was able to back-to-back that mud shot there. So he's going to go ahead and finish it off with that Frenzy Plant and take that win with that Venusaur. So Venusaur is one of my favorite Pokemon, not only for PvP, but just in general. I've always liked it a lot. In the main series, games picking Bulbasaur actually was easy mode. Then Squirrel was medium, and then I do believe Charmander is hard. And you're like, what do you... There's settings? Yeah, because of the gym leaders. All right, we'll discuss that another time. So I start off with a Skarmory lead. Fantastic. Now we're going to go over team composition slightly here. So as you can see, he brings in the Charizard. I did have the Skarmory weak to fire, and then I also had the Victory Bell weak to fire. Now, having multiple weaknesses to fire is leaving me very vulnerable here. So the Drapion does have Aqua Tail to take care of fire types, which I composed the team like this unintentionally. But unfortunately, it's not going to be enough. So I do go ahead and shield this, thinking it might be a Blast Burn, and I was correct. I would be able to take a Dragon Claw. And I was thinking, okay, he was going to hit me with the Blast Burn, then hit me possibly with a Dragon Claw. But unfortunately, it was another Blast Burn. And at this point, the game is basically lost. Now, I could pull it up and win somehow, some magic way. But for the most part, this Charizard is going to run through my team, even though I do have a shield on my end. So we're going to go ahead and go for that Sky Attack on the Skarmory. If you're like, oh, Skarmory in the Ultra League, interesting. Is it good? Yeah, it performs fantastic. This is obviously not a good matchup for it, but it is going to be level 40, showing its true potential, completely maxed out. So he does bring in that Hypno. If I was to bring in Victory Bell, it is going to be part poison, and it will be taking a lot of damage from that Confusion as well as that Psyshock. So I might as well just stick it out here for the moment. I do believe I decide to switch at the last second here, and Razor Leaf is actually going to tear into it. Now this is a 100% IV, completely maxed out Victory Bell, and this is why the Ultra League is fun and different from the Great League. You're going to be able to do a little bit more damage on specific Pokemon, and things are going to be lasting a little bit longer, kind of changing the whole dynamic of it as to what we are used to in the Great League. Oh, I know I'll be able to take this hit perfect. I know I'll be able to take this one, or I know I'll be able to defeat it with this specific charge move. It's a little bit different in the Ultra League. So down goes the Hypno, in comes a Venusaur, and it's not looking great. Now I do have the Skarmory to take care of that Venusaur there, but it's just not going to be enough. Those Community Day Pokemon are massively strong, so I did lower its attack, which I suppose helped me a little bit. And this match is still going to be decently close, as you will see here. So we do have a little bit of lag. That's okay. The Skarmory is almost out of here, and then he does have that other one in the back. So in comes the Charizard. I do get off the Sky Attack here, which is going to, I do believe, faint out the Charizard. And we get it out. Now, if my Skarmory had a little bit more health, I would be able to possibly win this. You're going to see it's fairly close, but he's going to be able to take me out with that Sludge Bomb here, and down I go. That's going to be a good game. So, really liking the Ultra League yet again. Played it a whole bunch when it first came out. If you've heard my other videos, I spent millions of Stardust, so I do have a ton of Pokemon ready to go. I just kind of had to use some TMs, and speaking of TMs, I really need some of those. I can't wait for Mewtwo to return so I can hit those raids hard. As far as the current raids right now, and then Deoxys coming in tomorrow, I'm going to go for them maybe, possibly, but I'm not too concerned. So, starting it off with Toxicroak, he's going in here with the Venusaur. So I will be letting that go through, not very effective, doing a ton of damage anyways. And we're going to go ahead and return with this Mud Bomb here. And it does a decent amount of damage. Seeing that Venusaur is going to be part poison, it's going to be doing a good amount of damage to it. And we're going to go ahead and go for that Mud Bomb again. But at this point, we're going to have to shield. Otherwise, we're going to waste all of our energy. So I do decide to shield it up and then hit it with that Mud Bomb in return here. Toxicroak has always been pretty good for not only the Great League, but the Ultra League as well. Like we went over, it's going to be completely maxed out. And look out though, I think if you have 100, it might go right above 2500 CP. Alright, so in comes his Toxicroak. We do have enough energy built up at this point though, so we will be able to get to Mud Bomb before him, which is going to be super effective to Toxicroak itself, because it is going to be Poison type, weak to ground. And if he doesn't shield that up, that's going to pretty much almost one-shot him. Not quite, it's not like the Ultra League, he will survive with some health, I do believe. So we do have a Charizard and a Swampert in the back, Community Day move Pokemon. So I do decide to go in here with the Swampert. And I'm pretty sure Swampert is ranked number 3 for the Ultra League, right underneath Giratina Origin Form and Altered Form. So that's just giving you an idea as to how, I wouldn't say OP it is, but it's extremely good with Mudshot and Hydro Cannon. Mudshot charging that Hydro Cannon really fast. So, and that is another reason why you should wait on your switches, as you've seen here. I was trying to switch whatever he switched into to counter it, but this time around he did have a super effective Pokemon, and that's why I don't really like to switch immediately. It's not that I'm slow at it. If you ever watch my PvP tournament videos, it's the fact that I want to see what they're bringing out. Sometimes I do a random switch, taking the gamble as to what they have, but for the most part, you kind of want to wait. So he is hitting me up with that Wild Charge. It would have done a decent amount of damage, but I knew if I wanted to win this, I had to keep the Swampert at a reasonable amount of health. So we do have a ton of energy loaded up, ready to go. This Hydro Cannon is going to hurt this Toxicroak quite a bit here. Alright, but fortunately he has a shield, but that's the last shield. So we're going to be able to get off our other Hydro Cannon here and pretty much finish it off. As well as the quick move on the Swampert is going to be doing super effective damage onto that Toxicroak. So hitting up the Hydro Cannon yet again. And also take note that the Silph Arena Season 2 is going to be featuring Ultra League battles. I don't think they're going to be ranked, but it's still something to take note of here, giving you a good idea as to what's going to be good, what should you be trying out currently right now for the Ultra League, because if you are a part of that or want to look into getting into the Silph Arena tournaments, then I suppose this video is going to be a decent reference for the future. So I'm going to be starting it off with Lapras. I do need to switch that Blizzard to Surf. Yeah, definitely. It's a legacy with Dragon Pulse, so pretty nice. So I do have the switch up. It's not glitched or anything. I was just preparing to switch. And at this point, I was trying to switch, but it went for my Dragon Pulse, unfortunately. So kind of wasted energy. So that's a little bit unfortunate. So we're going to go ahead and switch into our Community Day Typhlosion with Dragon Claw, Blast Burn, and Solar Beam. Solar Beam to cover those water types. So Typhlosion is a pretty good Pokemon here. And it will be able to do that super effective damage to Giratina with that Shadow Claw. And then a great amount of damage with that Blast Burn, although it will still be able to tank it. So obviously we're going to go for this Blast Burn onto that Venusaur here. It's going to be super effective. It'll be a one-shot if he does not shield it up. But he knows he can do a lot of damage still with Frenzy Plant because it is so strong, even though I'm a fire type. So I'm either going to have to shield this, which I do, so I can preserve my Typhlosion just a little bit longer. And yeah, see what we can do with it here. So he does have another one back-to-back, so unfortunately I'm either going to have to burn another shield, wasting 2, or just let it go. So at this point I wasted a shield, but that's okay. It happens. Alright, so we can go in here with Toxicroak, which is probably going to be the better idea, seeing that Venusaur, or sorry, Lapras is going to be weak to grass. So we finish it off with counters that are not very effective. We're both at 1 shield, 2 Pokemon. In comes the Charizard. I knew that was in the back, so I immediately switch. And he is going to stick it out for just a minute. And Blast Burn's still going to hurt Lapras. Yes, it's a water type, but also an ice. And like we discussed, these Community Day moves are just so strong. You got to look out for them no matter what. So he does have another move charged up and ready to go. So it's not looking too hot. Let's see what it's going to be. Blast Burn. And like I said, look at that damage on the Lapras, water type, and part ice. Devastating. So in comes the Steelix. Now at this point, if I had Surf, I would be in a whole lot better position. But unfortunately, all of my charge moves are not going to be very effective. And Steelix for the Ultra League, I'm just going to let you know right now, is so good. I can obviously find bad matchups like a Toxicroak or water, or fighting types like this right here. But it's so good depending on your matchups. I mean, if you have things to back it up, you will perform great, like a Togekiss perhaps, to protect against those maybe fighting types, right? So let's go ahead and check this out and see how much damage. Obviously, he's going to hit me with an Earthquake here, so it's going to one-shot me, so I'm not in a good position, unfortunately. But Toxicroak usually will be able to handle that if I had a shield, but no shields up, and he's going to be able to hit me with that massive hitting move, Earthquake. So next match, starting it off with Swampert. He's going in there with the Snorlax. So I do believe I have a Snorlax in the Ultra League as well. I don't think I purchased a secondary move quite yet, so the Lick, I mean, it can work to your favor if you're going up against a Giratina Origin. You're going to be normal type with that Snorlax, therefore if they had ghost moves, not very effective, while you're dealing super effective with the Lick. But on this specific Snorlax here, not too sure if he has a secondary move, but he is just hitting me with that Body Slam. I've tested this out in the past and I've liked it to some degree. So we're just going to go ahead and charge a lot more energy on that Swampert here. I do believe, yep, I shield up here just to preserve the health a little bit longer in case he had sneaked up with another Body Slam. And at this point, I'm loaded. So whatever he brings in, we have to switch immediately because Swampert cannot handle grass moves at all. So you have to get out of there. So we do have Glade to protect against Venusaur if that was here. With that confusion, I planned for this. So we're doing super effective to that poison. I'm going to shield it up because Glade is kind of fragile. And we're going to try to feint it down with confusions. Unfortunately, I was not able to. I got a little greedy. If I would have hit, say, Leaf Blade, then I would have been able to take it out and had energy ready for the next Pokemon. But, you know, once you get greedy and lose all that. Now, you can question whether or not I should have went in there with Skarmory. And honestly, I'm going to tell you, that was a mistake on my end. I should have went in there with Skarmory, and then I would have been in a whole lot better position at this point. So that is another thing. Team composition. Lead with a Pokemon, have two in the back to protect against it. Alright, so I led with Skarmory, or sorry, I led with Swampert, weak to grass. So I had Glade in case they had a Venusaur, and then as well as a Skarmory. So they don't all share the same weaknesses, so it's looking pretty good for this composition. Unfortunately, I just did not switch in the right time. As well as that Melmetal, not looking too hot for me as far as the Skarmory is concerned, as well as my Glade is actually knocked out. Now, I could have went for Earthquake. I don't know why I didn't do that. That would have done super effective damage. Do I have Earthquake or did I already TM it? Let's see. Oh yeah, I have Earthquake. See, I could have went for that. I don't know why I did it. And otherwise, I would have probably been in a much better position here. Instead, I just hit it with a bunch of these Hydro Cannons, unfortunately. Just spamming away. Still good, but yeah, the Earthquake would have one-shotted almost Melmetal. Alright, so the Body Slam is going to finish us off here, unfortunately, with that Snorlax. Let's see what happens here. Taking me out. And in comes the Skarmory, so it's probably best that I just finish it off with quick moves. And I have energy for that Melmetal. But at this point, it's a very hard uphill battle. And I don't think I'll be able to win this because, well, Electric is going to definitely trump me, seeing that it's a Steel type and Flying not very effective to Steel. And my other move, Steel, not very effective. I did go for that Flash Cannon, doing a little bit more damage, just trying to claw my way to victory possibly, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to. Although that Rock Slide didn't finish me off, and I'm able to get to another Sky Attack. And like I said, I'm really enjoying Skarmory. It was an investment for sure, you know, 75,000 Stardust for that secondary move, and then completely maxing it out in the Great League is going to cost you a pretty penny for sure. This one was actually lucky. And I just pulled the trigger and said, you know what, I'm going to max it out and test it out, and it does work great. Starting off with Venusaur, he's going in there with Electivire, so we're in a good position for sure, although Wild Charge will still put on a decent amount of damage to that Venusaur. I will be able to get to that Frenzy Plant first, but he does make the switch. So this is actually going to be our last battle. He does have 3 wins. I do have 2. Let's see if we can make this an even game here. I do make the switch into my Legacy Kingler Mudshot and then the new move Crabhammer. I will be able to charge that Crabhammer at an extreme rate with Mudshot. And I did switch into this because, well, Water is going to be super effective against that Pokemon he has out there. Gliscor. So we're looking good. And that thing is pretty decent. It has the Fury Cutter as well as Night Slash. and I do believe Aerial Ace, so it can spam really fast, and that's why I got my Venusaur out there. I didn't want it to get hit by a flying type move. We're going to be shielding up our Kingler because we are locked and we're in a decent position. As long as we can connect one of these Crab Hammers to that Gliscor, we're going to be looking great. Now Kingler is extremely squishy, but it is legacy with that mud shot, gaining so much energy for the charge moves. I just really like to use it. So we're going to let our Kingler faint out here. We don't need to waste a shield. That thing is such low health that we're just going to be able to come in here with any Pokemon we choose and pretty much finish it off with quick moves. In this case, I do believe I go in here with my Venusaur. I was making that decision indecisive, so I do go in here. Didn't want to hit the Frenzy Plant quite yet. I wanted to gain a little bit more energy. Took a risk, but I do have a shield, so we would have been able to shield it up anyways. So he is making his decision here. And I'm going to tell you at the very end, this is crazy. It's Mind Game City. All right, so in comes his Venusaur. So I do decide to, I don't know what I'm doing here, gaining more energy. Oh, I wanted to see if I can burn his shield with the Frenzy Plant. But he doesn't fall for the bait. So I do make the switch into Drapion. Now, let's discuss Drapion. It is going to be a poison and dark type, so it will be able to resist everything Venusaur throws at it. So Sludge Bomb in this case, as you can see, didn't really do that much damage. And I do currently have Infestation and Water Pulse as well as Crunch. Crunch will be getting stabbed. Aqua Tail is going to be for just to spam ability. So we're going to take this Frenzy Plant. Look at this thing, Drapion. So it is going to be expensive. Another one, level 40, completely maxed out, and 75,000 for a secondary move. But I love it. I'm really loving it for the Ultra League. So he does make that switch. So his Electivire can take that damage, which is perfect. We went for the Crunch. That's great. So I do decide to not shield. I'm going to let this go down here. Seeing that I have a ton of energy on my Venusaur, we'll be able to go in here and hit it up with Frenzy Plant. Now he does have a shield. I do have a shield. Let's see what's going to happen here, folks. This is getting pretty intense. Who's going to win this one? Venusaur versus Venusaur. One shield versus one shield. We both have about the same amount of health. A little bit more on my end. Now I have to make a decision quick. Should I shield? I have one shield left. He's trying to shield bait me. He knows I'm going to probably use it. So he goes for Frenzy Plant so he can keep his energy. I don't fall for it. And then he's probably thinking I'm going to do this in return. But I'm like, nope. I'm just going to go for the kill shot here. And yeah, he has a shield left. So he's probably thinking, yeah, I'm just going to go for the burn. But I don't. I go for the straight KO. That's going to be good games. Hope you guys enjoy this. Please give it a big thumbs up if you did. And I'll be catching you all on my next video. Take care.